What's going on, everyone? My name is Matthew Osborn, and this is the new user Q&A for ScoutIQ. Looks like people are just starting to get on this, so we'll wait a couple more minutes to get started and see if some more people fill in here for this. But the purpose of this is just to answer any questions you guys have about either ScoutIQ or selling on Amazon, or anything we can do to help you be successful in selling on Amazon, especially while using ScoutIQ. So this is the time just to ask any of those questions. Feel free to leave those questions in the comments starting right now, and I'll start getting on those questions. And also let me know who you are, what your name is, and where you're from, as well as how long you've been selling on Amazon, so I can kind of get a feel for who is on the chat right now. So don't be shy. Looks like a few more people are getting on, or not. We'll see here in a second. But those of you that are watching right now, leave your name and how long you've been selling on Amazon in the comments, so I can get a better feel for who is here. Depending on how many questions are asked and things like that will depend on how long we stay on here. So could be a fast one today, or we could stick around for a while. It's up to you guys. A little backstory on kind of ScoutIQ, myself and Caleb. ScoutIQ this November, 2 months from now, will be 2 years since we officially launched ScoutIQ. ScoutIQ started in beta back in May, I think. It was May of 2017. And then we actually launched the full version in November. So we've been around for almost 2 years now. Caleb, my business partner, has been selling on Amazon for a long time, a very successful bookseller. And I started selling on Amazon because of Caleb. When we first met back in, it was either 2015, I think, 2015, maybe early 2016, is when I started selling on Amazon. We became business partners, launched ScoutIQ to help other sellers have better information to make better buying decisions and be just more successful in their Amazon ventures. If you are brand new to selling on Amazon, one of the tools we put together for you is called the 100 Book Challenge. Let me throw that up on the screen here so you can see it. Hopefully, if you've been getting the normal emails when you sign up for your ScoutIQ trial, you've already seen this, but if not, you can go to the 100bookchallenge.com. This is something we put together last year, where for 12 weeks, we started an Amazon business from scratch, listed 100 books every week for 12 weeks, just to track how long it takes, what happens if you do that, and kind of give a roadmap for new sellers to jump into selling on Amazon. The really cool thing about the 100 Book Challenge is that we set it up in such a way that you can use a sheet and see if you sent in 25 books a week, or 50 books a week, or 100 books a week, what would your results be and how long would it take you to get those results. I personally did 100 books a week for those 12 weeks. But if you go to that website, put in your email there, you can download a spreadsheet, you can type in your own numbers and set a number that works for you. It could be 25 books a week, it could be 250 books a week, and you can kind of get an idea of how long it's going to take you to start being cash flow positive, to start making a profit, and what kind of profit you can expect with normal numbers as you go down the road. So if you're just getting started, I highly recommend you set a weekly goal. Try and stick to that weekly goal and try and be consistent for at least 90 days. Because the way Amazon works and how long it takes to send in books and start selling books is you really start seeing those results in month 2 and month 3. If you go really hard at it for 4 weeks and then stop, you're not going to see the same results as if you just stay consistent for about 90 days. You'll really start kind of reaping the rewards of that work you put in. Let's see if there's even any comments here. It looks like there's 4 of you on right now, so don't be shy, the 4 that are watching. If you have any questions, throw them in there. If not, I'll just answer a few more of the normal questions we get, and then we can call it a day from there. Besides the 100 Book Challenge, another thing we've got coming up, if any of you are interested, let me throw it back up on the screen here real quickly, is our Turn the Page event. So Turn the Page is a conference we put on with Accelerlist, the listing software. We've been, this is 4th or 5th event we've done. Let's see, we did LA, Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, Chicago, and then this one is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. It's coming up next month. It's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can go there to see the tickets that are available. This is a really cool event because we do it in Airbnb. We limit the number of people to a small number of people, between like 25 and 30, I think it's going to be for this event. We fly in speakers. We have talks on selling books on Amazon, everything from getting started to selling bulk books to finding books at universities and colleges and things of that nature. You get to meet a lot of other sellers. So even if you're new to selling on Amazon, it's a great event to come to, or if you're experienced, been doing it a long time, it's an even better event to come to just get more information, get new ideas, network with other sellers, and be around a group of people that actually understand what you're doing for a business. And every time we go to these events, we come away with a lot more information than we went into them with. And they're extremely helpful, like I said, especially for those of you that are just starting out. Does not look like we have any questions at the moment, but you guys have full attention since there's only 5 of you on here. So if you do have questions, I will answer those for you. Let's see here. One other thing, let me show you guys a few things from ScoutIQ. All right, so these are the main pages of ScoutIQ. I'll answer a few questions we get. If you look here, you can see this is your normal Scout screen. You click the Scout button to go find books, but if you click the triggers icon, you're going to see the screen on the far right there. If you're brand new to the app and you haven't set anything up before, all you're going to see is this very first option right here saying ScoutIQ default triggers. If you click that, nothing's going to happen. What you're going to want to do is the current app that you have that actually looks a touch different than this, you're going to have an edit triggers button at the bottom. You're going to want to click that if you want to set up your own triggers. Clicking on the ScoutIQ default triggers won't do anything because they're already selected and you can't edit those. If you'd like to edit the triggers, you can click that edit triggers button. It'll open up a page in your phone and you can create new triggers, or you can create a new trigger set, click the restore to default button. It'll fill out all the normal default triggers and you can modify those from there if you do want to add different trigger sets. Once you save those, you'll see your results pop up on the screen right here. Right now mine are just called test and test 2. But you can click through your different trigger sets right there if you want to set custom triggers on the app. One other thing, let me show you right here. These are your normal Scout screens. With ScoutIQ, you have 3 different options. You can either do database only, live plus database, or live only. If you have the database plus live plan, you can do any of those 3 options. If you bought a live plan only, you can only do that 3rd option, live only. So a live search, what that's doing is using your data or Wi-Fi to look up the current prices on Amazon and then bring those back to your phone. It takes a little bit longer to do that since you have to have a cell connection and make a search on the internet basically every single time you scan. But it's going to be live data that's up to the minute. It's accurate and everything else that you'd expect from a live search. If you do database, this is going to be something you download to your phone, clicking the download database on that first page. This is going to be books that are updated daily, or a database is updated actually twice a day. And these are going to be ones that are stored on your phone, so you don't need any internet to get them. They're no more than a day old, these results that you're getting, and it's going to be a lot faster. As fast as your phone processor can handle it, you can scan, so it's going to be a whole lot quicker to use database. We recommend people use database plus live. What that does is it first checks the database. If it's not in the database, it does a live search and pulls up those results for you, which is a great way to scout. You're normally using your database, but if it doesn't have it, you can connect to the internet and get the results for that book anyways. One way you can check to see if the results you're getting are from a live search or a database search is in the bottom left-hand corner. If you look at this far right screen, you're going to see there's no thumbnail of the book. There's no thumbnail if it's a database result. So this result in the far right corner right here is from the database. If you see a thumbnail in the bottom left-hand corner like you do with these first 2 screens, that is a live search, and you can tell that because the image was brought back. We don't store images in our database. They're way too big and there's no need to. So if there's no image, you know it's a database scan. If there is an image, you know you did a live lookup. One other helpful thing that's on the app here is that if you're scanning books and you look in the bottom left-hand corner and see a red R over the thumbnail, that means restricted. This doesn't mean your specific account is restricted. What this is, we flag commonly restricted books to let people know this book is commonly restricted. If you're curious if your actual account is restricted on that book, you can just click that thumbnail with the red R. It'll take you to your account and you can see if you can sell that book or not. We just flag these books to let people know some of the common books that are restricted. So you guys don't go out, scan a ton of books, and accidentally bring a whole lot of restricted books home. Now, you might scan some books you're restricted in that don't have this red R. Like I said, this is not ones that are on your account because we don't have that access right now to your account to see that. But we did flag commonly restricted books for you, so you can hopefully not make that mistake when you're out there and buy a book that you're restricted in and have to not be able to send that book into Amazon. Another common question we always get is that you scan something and you get a thing that says no results found. Please connect your Amazon account. In order for us to do live lookups, like I was talking about, ask Amazon for information and get that back on any scan that you do, we have to have your MWS credentials, is what they're called, to connect to your Amazon account specifically. So you have to set these up in your account online. You can go to app.scoutiq.co, click on the account in the top tab, and then click on Amazon settings, and you're going to see this page right here. Just follow the steps below. There's only 3 steps. They're pretty simple. You're going to click the link in step 1. It'll automatically open up this page. This information will be automatically filled in for you. You click next. After you click next, you'll be asked to check and confirm you understand the terms. Click the blue check mark, click next again, and you'll be taken to this page right here. Your seller ID has been blurred out because this is a real seller ID on this page. It's been blurred out. On your page, it will not be. You're going to copy that entire seller ID and put it into the very first spot on the ScoutIQ page. It says seller ID. And then you're going to copy and paste your MWS auth token, this one at the very bottom that's blurred out here. Copy all of that and then paste it into the second box, including this first part. This is amzn.mws. That's included as well. Copy this entire number right there, paste that into the box, and click confirm, and it will activate or connect your account to Amazon, so those live lookups will work for you. If they're not working, you probably either pasted something in wrong or didn't paste the entire thing, so make sure you pasted your entire seller ID and Amazon auth token, and then you should get results for all of your live scans on the app. Now let's see here if we have any questions from you guys. Any events in the LA area? Is this chat live? Yes, the chat is live. We did an event in LA for our very first event for Turn the Page back in 2018 last year. I think it was the end of the summer last year. We might go back to LA at some point. We don't have any events planned currently in LA. The event coming up is in Atlanta, Georgia. Let me make sure my screen's on here. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. That's the 17th, 18th, and 19th. I'll throw that screen back up here for you so you can see the details of that. After that, next year, we're possibly going to, I've heard things about Florida potentially we're going to do. We've wanted to do Austin, Texas. I want to do a ScoutIQ cruise. I think that would be an awesome thing to get a bunch of sellers on a cruise for a 4 or 5 day trip and just talk Amazon and books and business. That will be an awesome thing. That's not exactly planned yet, but I want to do that next year. We'll see if that actually happens. But no, we do not have an LA event planned at this point, but we have done one in the past. And there was definitely a lot of interest in that one, so we might do that again in the future. We always announce these events on the Book Flipper Facebook group. If you guys are not a part of the Book Flipper Facebook group, you should be. Let me throw up that link right here for you guys. This group is the group that Caleb and I run for ScoutIQ. It's got over 10,000 members. It's extremely active. So as getting started out with ScoutIQ or just selling on Amazon in general, it's a great place to find answers to your questions. You can go on there, ask a question, and normally within 10 or 15 minutes, you'll have multiple responses, people trying to help you out. It's an awesome community, people are really involved in it. So join that group. You can see the link right there. Or if you just want to go to the ScoutIQ.co website, in the footer at the bottom of the website, there'll be a link to join that group as well. So join that group if you have not already. But yeah, so long-winded answer, but we have done one in the LA in the past. We might in the future. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to stay on longer. If not, we can just call it a day. I try and do these events every Thursday at 11 a.m. So if you miss this event or you're getting the last part of this conversation, you'll get another email this coming week for the next Thursday event, and you can come back, ask questions if you have new questions that you get. We got another question here. Any Keepa updates? Can you show a quick example of how a book is selling using Keepa? Let me see if I have a Keepa chart on here. So Keepa is a little bit interesting right now. So in the app before, you used to have a Keepa button at the bottom of the ScoutIQ app. You could click that and it would open up a Keepa chart for you. We had to take that away because Amazon's kind of changed their terms of service recently, and what it looks like is you're not supposed to promote other vendors that vend Amazon's data, Keepa being one of those. So you'll see not only us, but some other softwares have taken Keepa off their apps because you're technically not supposed to display that information. There is a workaround though that is coming soon. I don't believe we've released this yet, but it's coming very soon, where you'll have a custom link option within ScoutIQ. It's going to be within those buttons at the bottom of your screen. You'll have a custom link button, and you can make that button either automatically open up active eBay listings, completed eBay listings. You'll be able to use bookfinder.com, or you can do a custom link, paste in the Keepa link right there, and that way whenever you click that button, it'll bring up the Keepa chart. It's just a little workaround, but we're allowed to do that and stay within Amazon terms of service. So that will be coming up soon, so you can actually look up Keepa books on ScoutIQ. But back to your question about how to read Keepa, let me see if I can pull up a Keepa chart here for you real fast, and I can kind of explain that. Give me 1 second to find an image of a Keepa chart that I can share. Let's see here. So a little while ago, I did something called the eFlip challenge, which used our software eFlip.co. It's an online arbitrage software. And I used that for 14 days, and that's a huge part of that is reading Keepa charts and understanding Keepa charts. I'm gonna go grab one of those screenshots from that challenge and see if I can bring that up for you to explain it a little bit more. Give me 1 sec. I'm not actually seeing a Keepa chart on here. One moment. Yeah, while I'm looking for this, feel free to put any more questions in there we can get to. All right, well, it's not looking like I have any screenshots of Keepa charts at the moment, and the software I'm using does not allow screen share right now. So next one, yeah, that's a good question though. I'll put that in my slides for next time, and I can show you how to read a Keepa chart. That's a great question. So next Thursday, come back to that event. I will go over Keepa charts. We can talk about that a little bit more. Another question, is it worth looking up Library of Congress book numbers where there's no ISBN? So if there's no ISBN, a pre-ISBN book is going to be a very old book. I'm not sure what year they put ISBNs on. Caleb probably knows that. But pre-ISBN books are going to be very old. You could look up the Library of Congress number. Those books are probably going to be more of the collectible type books when they're that old. Normally you can search the title of that book or something of that nature and see if there's any listings for it on Amazon. But a lot of those older books, more the collectible style books, eBay is probably going to be a better bet for those because there's more of a market for those collectible books there. But I would just search the title of that book and see if it pulls it up on Amazon and see if you can get any results from that. But pre-ISBN books are going to be very old, so you might try looking up the Library of Congress number, but I'm not sure if that'll actually pull up anything on Amazon. That's a good question. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I've wondered that too. Old books, right? Yeah, that's correct. Very old books are not going to have the ISBN numbers on them. So sorry I couldn't give you a better answer, but check out eBay, search the title of that, and then see if it comes up there. You type it in here. I'm pretty sure pre-ISBN books is something in the 60s when they added ISBN. Let me see here. 1970, so pre-1970 it looks like is what's going to not have an ISBN number on it. So check eBay, search that on there. Also, are there any recommended mid-range price scanners? That is a good question. Let me bring up a page for you right here actually where I show some scanners. So we have a couple different options when it comes to Bluetooth scanners. For those of you watching that might not know, Bluetooth scanners are something that you connect to your phone through Bluetooth. They're little handheld scanners like the ones in this image right here. and they allow you to scan a lot faster. With ScoutIQ, you can use your phone to scan. You can click that scan button, as some of you probably already noticed. It'll bring up your phone's camera. You can hover it over the barcode and it's going to pull up the results. That might seem fast, but if you've ever used a Bluetooth scanner, you know they're a whole lot faster. As fast as you can pretty much scan those barcodes, you'll get results on your phone. So if you use your phone's camera, you can maybe do, this is just a rough number, 100 books, let's say an hour. If you use a Bluetooth scanner, you could do 1,000 books in an hour. It's that much quicker, it's 10 times faster. So Bluetooth scanners are a great thing to do, even if you're getting started, because they allow you to get a lot more scans in. The more scans you do, the more accepts you're going to find, the more books you're going to be able to list and sell on Amazon, and the happier you're going to be as a seller. So I highly recommend getting a Bluetooth scanner. Here are 3 options right here. The first 2, the OPN 2002 and the KDC, are a little bit more of the higher price scanners. Caleb and myself like the OPN 2002. You can pick these up used on eBay for roughly around $100. Brand new on Amazon, I think they're $199. KDC, I believe, is somewhere in the similar range, maybe around $150, something like that. These ones are super reliable, super small, and they work very well. The really cool thing about these 2 scanners right here, and why I like them a lot, is that specifically the OPN 2002, is they hold their value very well. So let's say you spend $110 to buy one of these. If you decide later on down the road book selling is not for you, anything like that, you can normally sell these back on whatever channel you bought them from for almost the exact amount you purchased them for. So you're not going to lose any money on these scanners. They maintain their value very well. So even though they're a bigger investment up front, they maintain their value and they work extremely well. A cheaper price scanner is going to be your far right option here, the iYoYo. You can buy this brand new on Amazon for, I believe, around $45. It's going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit clunkier, but we've heard good things about them. We have one of them here in the office, I think, somewhere. They work well. A lot of new sellers love them because they're so cheap. So if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, check out the iYoYo scanner on Amazon. Just type that in the search box, and I believe it's like $45 prime shipping, brand new. So that's a great option. Let's see here. Also, are there any recommended mid-range scanners? Is there any way in the app to see a list of what books you've scanned? Currently, there's not a way in ScoutIQ to see a list of offers or books that you've scanned. One thing you can do is look at the scan tracker on the far right. You can swipe to the far right and it'll show you how many books you've scanned, how many accepts you've found, and your accept rate. You can see lifetime numbers, or you can reset that each day to see what you've scanned, that outing, to keep track of your numbers a little bit better. But it's not going to show you a list of like the ISBNs that you've scanned. That's something we have been asked about a lot, and there are some things we're thinking about and working on in regards to that, but there's no release date or anything for that option yet as far as collecting scans that you've done in the past. My scan functionality is totally blacked out, doesn't access the camera. So when you first download ScoutIQ, I'm not sure if this is the issue you're experiencing or not. When you first download ScoutIQ and open it up and click the scan button, it's going to say you have to allow privileges to the microphone and the camera. The reason for this is, of course, in order to use the camera, we have to have the app's permission for that, and in order to use speech to text, we also have to have your mic's permission. So if you accidentally maybe clicked disallow on that pop-up when it came up, the app might not have ability to access your camera. You can try deleting ScoutIQ, re-downloading it, clicking the scan button again. It'll have a little pop-up to ask you to allow camera access. Make sure you hit yes on that, and then it should work like normal, and you should be able to use your camera to scan. Mandy says, how do you determine your inventory turn rates without knowing exactly how many books are in your inventory at that specific time? You should be able to see how many books are in inventory just by going to Seller Central. If you go to Seller Central, you click on Manage Inventory, and then you check the little box there that says Active Inventory Only. It'll show you exactly to the current minute how many books you have in inventory, and you can use that to kind of figure out your turn rates. A really easy way to figure out your turn rates is to use something called the tracking spreadsheet. This is something Caleb created to track all your numbers for selling on Amazon. It's a spreadsheet. And it has all the accounting information you'll need for your business at the end of the year. It has turn rates and a bunch of other helpful information. It also gives you the ability to track consignment deals. So if you're selling a book for someone else, you can track those very easily. You can go to the bookflipper.com/track to see that tracking spreadsheet. You can just paste in some information from Amazon and it gives you all that information right there. But you can track your turn rate manually, like I said, by just going and see how many books you have in inventory and seeing how many you've sold. And you can do that math manually there if you want to. Chemical Exchange says $10 on Craigslist. I'm not sure if you're talking about one of the scanners, but yeah, I think that's what I did. Gotta be permissions things. Yeah, I'm assuming what that is. I haven't heard of that before, but I know if you disallow those privileges, the app's not gonna have access to your camera, so that could definitely cause that. Mandy says, okay, active, right? Yes, I was looking at that today. Yeah, I think the default for the manage inventory page is gonna be all listings, which includes active and inactive. And you're going to want to click active to see how many are actually active in the moment in your inventory, not all the ones you've ever listed to get that number. If there's any more questions, I'll happy to stick on a little bit longer and answer those. Leave those in the comments. Mandy said I was getting confused because I was going back in time just a few weeks. Yeah, that makes it a little more difficult going back in time. On Amazon Seller Central, you can also hit the report. I think it's reports. Let me pull it up here for a second. Double check what I'm saying is accurate. There's the reports, and then you can click on business reports. And business reports is going to be brought up, and then you can see in the date section, you can go week to date, month to date, year to date, fulfillment method and apply. It'll tell you how many items have been ordered in that amount of time. Then you can kind of figure out your turn rate from that as well. I think there might actually be a way on here to see turn rate, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look that up. But you can definitely use this page to do the math yourself and figure that out by going to reports and then business reports and seeing how many items have been purchased each day, etc. But yeah, if those are all the questions, thank you guys for being on here. Let me double check that there's nothing else on here that... Oh yeah, so we also have one other thing you might be interested in. Let me throw this up here. It's called Book Flipper University. Book Flipper University is something Caleb and I put together specifically for beginners. If you're brand new to selling on Amazon, this is not for advanced sellers, this is for beginners. We basically wanted to show people starting out from nothing, how do you start an Amazon business, where do you find books, how do you list them, how do you account for selling them and tracking those. It's set up week by week from step one all the way to tracking those after you've sold them. It's normally $197. We offer 50% off, so at $97 roughly. If you're a ScoutIQ customer, use ScoutIQ 50 as your coupon code, all caps. You can go to Book Flipper University to find that. If you're not happy with it, we'll give you 100% money back guarantee. We did this just to help people get started. So it's a great resource for you if you're getting right into it. If you don't want to pay extra money for training or anything like that, we have a ton of information on my YouTube channel here and Caleb's YouTube channel, thebookflipper.com, and you can just search Google and find almost everything on Google you could imagine to help you get started selling on Amazon. The reason Book Flipper University was created is just to give people a step-by-step way of going through that process instead of kind of getting information overload like a lot of new sellers do, just trying to search for information on YouTube. But that's entirely up to you. We do want to get that coupon code to you if you'd like to get 50% off that. Mandy says, what do you recommend for sourcing if you already have a 7 to 5 job? Would you say that eFlip is worth it? So it depends on what your goal is with selling on Amazon and how many books you're trying to sell and what profit you're trying to make. When I did the 100 book challenge, listing 100 books a week in my area, which were in the Denver metro area, it took me about 10 to 11 hours a week to source and list all of those, which is a very doable number if you have a full-time job already. I spent probably about 5 hours every Saturday was the bulk of the time I spent. I woke up early and went to all the sales Saturday mornings normally. So I really only spent about an hour each night throughout the week to be able to flip 100 books a week. If you're brand new to selling on Amazon, I highly recommend just setting a smaller goal if you're limited on time and actually doing physical sourcing too. eFlip is a great option. It's an online tool like I was talking about for online arbitrage. The one tricky thing about eFlip is that you really have to know what you're doing and what you're looking for. We recommend people start out with physical books first because they're a lot cheaper. It's a lot easier to get into it. And when you make mistakes, which you always make mistakes at the beginning, those are a lot cheaper mistakes. You're spending 50 cents to $1 on a book when you're doing physical sourcing. Using eFlip, you're normally going to be spending $20, $30, $40 on a book. So when you make a mistake, it's a lot more costly. And also eFlip is great for selling year-round, but it's also really good for selling textbooks. So many people want to use eFlip to do textbooks. The dangerous thing about doing textbooks with eFlip, if you're inexperienced, is that people spend 3-4 months spending tons of money buying textbooks, and then once textbook season rolls around, they realize they didn't know exactly what they're buying, their criteria was a little bit off, and they lost a lot of money because they weren't quite sure what they're doing yet. So we recommend starting out with physical books, get a hang of that, figure out what's selling, what's not, what your criteria is, and then maybe move on to eFlip. If you want to start eFlip, if that just seems like something that interests you more, you want to get your feet wet with that, there is a eFlip challenge I was talking about that I did just a little while ago. Let me bring up the link here so you guys can see that. You can go to this website right here to see the eFlip challenge. What I did with this eFlip challenge is 14 days. I spent, I think it was $60 a day roughly. I was spending every single day. It took me about 10, 12 minutes each day to find these books. So it did not take very much time at all. And I show you guys kind of what to look for, how to read Keepa charts like you were talking about. We go very in depth on Keepa charts, on how to try and set up your eFlip and online sourcing strategy as to not lose a lot of money, but to hopefully make a lot of money like you'd want to do with eFlip. So if you're brand new, that can kind of help you navigate it. So go to the eFlip challenge, it's completely free. And I show you guys what I did step by step for 14 days. When you're doing physical sourcing, your main limit is going to be time. Like you said, you have a full-time job. Time is tight. It takes a decent amount of time to go out to stores, physically scan books, bring them back home, list those, and everything else. The cool thing about eFlip and why it's so attractive is you can do it from the comfort of your home, and you're more limited by capital than you are time. Like I said, it took me about 10 minutes every single day to do this challenge. And I spent $60. You'll easily spend more money than you will the time that you have. So you could easily spend $500, $1,000 in eFlip every single day. Most people don't have that kind of capital. So you're more limited by capital with eFlip. So with physical sourcing, I recommend setting a book goal, like 100 books a week. With eFlip sourcing, I recommend setting a capital goal, how much you want to invest every single day, which could be $10 a day, $20 a day, etc. Because you're going to have to stick to a capital goal with eFlip since it's so fast. You could spend a lot of money if you wanted to. So it's better to stick to a capital goal with eFlip, do the eFlip challenge and get used to it there, or set a book goal and then go out and do physical sourcing to get started. I'm looking to make, not including taxes, only about $2,000 a month. So what I recommend you do, Mandy, is go to the100bookchallenge.com. If you haven't already, type in your email there. Once you type in your email, you're going to be given an option to download a spreadsheet. It's going to be, I think it's called the Weekly Calculator, 100 Book Challenge Calculator, something like that. Download that spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet will allow you to type in different numbers and see what you'll have to do to make $2,000 a month if that's your goal. You can say, I want to list $50 books a week. My turn rate is this. I think I'm going to be spending this much each book. You can kind of customize those numbers to you, and then we'll give you a graph and show you, okay, here's how long it's going to take you to reach that goal. Here's how much money you'll be making. Here's what your sales will be, net profit, everything else to help you get started. So go to the 100bookchallenge.com, download that spreadsheet, put in your numbers there, and you can see exactly what you'll need to do to hit that goal you have of $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month is not a crazy goal. You won't need a crazy number of books to hit that. You might be surprised actually how few books you need to hit that goal. The main thing with selling on Amazon and using ScoutIQ in general is just being consistent. The people that are consistent and don't quit early are the ones that are going to see those results and actually have consistent income coming in. Like I said, don't just do this for 4 weeks and stop because it's a long game. Do it for 90 days. 90 days is a great time limit to set for yourself because you'll actually start seeing those results in those first 90 days. To give you an example of how this plays out in real life, when I was doing the 100 book challenge, like I said, every week for 12 weeks, I listed 100 books a week. My first month, my total revenue was around $800. My second month, my revenue was around $2,400, I believe. And my third month, my revenue was somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,500. listing the same amount of books every single week. So it takes a little time to build up. You'll get there quicker than you think you will. But had I done the 100 books a week and stopped 5 weeks in, my total revenue would have been $800. My profit, including all the cost to ship books and everything like that, would have been almost break-even point. And I wouldn't have hit that $2,500 and $4,500 if I'd stopped that quickly. So it is a cash flow game, getting cash flow positive and staying long enough to see those profits. So set a 90-day goal, stick with it, and then figure out if this is something you want to keep doing after that. Doing just 4 weeks is not going to be enough to actually start seeing those results. Mandy says, does cash flow on that spreadsheet mean with or without taxes? So this is not going to be factoring in taxes. This is just going to be profit coming back to you. You're going to pay whatever your tax rate is on that later, depending on what your total income is. So this is going to be profit coming back to you on that spreadsheet. Then you can figure out your tax side of that afterwards. But no, this is just going to be your profit coming back to you. It does not include taxes. Mandy, you said, will you be answering questions on here after the video is over? Well, I'm answering questions right now, as you can probably see right here. So I'll stay on as long as you want me to. As many questions as you have, just throw them in the comments and I'm happy to answer those. Let me switch back on the screen here. So yeah, if you have other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we can call this a day. It looks like there's 10 of you on here right now. So the other 9 of you on here, if you have questions, throw them in the chat right there. Like I said, if not, we'll be back here next Thursday at 11 a.m. to answer more if you want some time to play around with the app first before you start asking some of those questions. But if there's no more questions, I think we'll just call it a day here. Thank you guys for being on the chat. Those of you that are watching this, like I said, next Thursday, 11 a.m. we'll be back. Join the Facebook group if you haven't. You can answer or ask any questions you want there, and you'll get answers really, really quickly. And again, if you're starting out and you're brand new, check out the 100bookchallenge.com. But thank you guys for hanging out with me the past 20 or 30 minutes. So we will talk to you guys next week. Thank you.